And we do just that tonight on Peachtree TV as the Braves kick off a 4-game set with the Milwaukee Brewers. And they do so in first place in the National League East at the All-Star break. That's the first time since 2003 that's been the case, and the 9th time under Bobby Cox. In the 8 previous times, the Braves went on to win the division. Welcome back to Braves Baseball on Peachtree TV. Ernie Johnson and Joe Simpson. The Braves open up this series with a new look in that lineup, Joe.
It's very exciting, Ernie, because Frank Wren and his staff did a terrific job of making a big move a couple of days ago to secure Alex Gonzalez away from the Toronto Blue Jays in exchange for Yunel Escobar. Braves also got a couple of top-notch minor league prospects that are destined somewhere to be in the big leagues, a pitcher and a shortstop. But Alex Gonzalez, 17 home runs already on the year for the Blue Jays, a terrific offensive player. He can play some defense too, always has had a good arm. Here are the comparative numbers between the two guys. And of course, with you now having not hit a home run all year, there's no comparison there. I can tell you this, when Alex Gonzalez walked in the clubhouse today, he got a standing ovation from his new teammates.
He will hit 7th tonight for Bobby Cox, who was also able to pencil in, for the first time in a long time, Jason Hayward in the number 2 spot.
Well, that's like picking up a new guy, too, and a terrific player. Jason took batting practice Monday and Tuesday out in California at the All-Star break. The doctors have cleared him to go. He's excited. I think the Braves might win 31-0 tonight.
I don't like the odds. We'll be back with more here on Peachtree TV as the Braves get set to play the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll take a look back at the All-Star game and the heroics of Brian McCann next. Turn for Brian McCann to Atlanta after what happened in the All-Star game as the National League ended a long drought. Every time he turned around, he was getting patted on the back today.
Well, he was certainly welcomed back by everybody who was happy that it was an Atlanta Brave who got the big hit in the All-Star game to drive in the 3 runs, and it came off a tough pitcher and Matt Thornton from the Chicago White Sox. But the bases clearing double by Brian McCann is one of those things where good things happen to good people. Brian McCann is from the Atlanta area. He's every kid's favorite player. He's every dad's son almost because of the way he plays and goes about his business. So it couldn't have happened for a better guy to be the hero in the All-Star game Tuesday.
All that, and he and his wife expecting their first child as well. So big doings for Brian McCann. And tonight he'll be on the receiving end as Jair Jurgens is on the mound for the Braves, opposed by Dave Bush of the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll be back with the first pitch right after this. Another nice night here at the Yard, and 74 games left. 41 of those at home, where the Braves are 30-10, the best mark in baseball. It's time for the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry Big Smiles Seat Upgrade. Our man JJ has found some lucky fans. He's now upgrading their seats. Keep watching to see where their new seats are located. Sponsored by the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. Great way to start off the unofficial second half of the season with the seat upgrade here at Turner, Joe.
And they're awesome seats, too. Let's take a look at the batting order, brought to you by Stone Mountain Park and Evergreen Marriott Resort. For great getaway packages, visit stonemountainpark.com. And for the Milwaukee Brewers, they come to town with a 3-game winning streak. Ricky Weeks at the top of the order, followed by Corey Hart, who was an all-star. Then Ryan Braun, 6 for 12 over his last couple of games. Prince Fielder, the cleanup hitter. Casey McGee having a very good year at third base. Jim Edmonds, the veteran, in center field. Jonathan Lucroy, Alcides Escobar, so there is an Escobar playing short tonight.
Exactly.
And David Bush, the pitcher. And on the mound for the Braves will be Jair Jurgens, 24 years old, 6'1", 200 pounds. Out of Curacao, he'll be backed by Eric Hinsky, Gregor Blanco, and Jason Hayward in the outfield. Jones Gonzalez, Alex Gonzalez at shortstop, Prado and Gloss on the right side, and the catcher will be Brian McCann. Jair 1-3. He has made 2 starts since he came back from the disabled list. He's only given up 4 runs in 11 innings in those starts. He made 1 against Milwaukee, has made 1 start in his career against Milwaukee. It was a loss. He'll try to atone for that tonight.
And he faces Ricky Weeks to start things off. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Milwaukee team has some bangers on it. 110 home runs is the high in the National League. Toronto leads baseball with 136. Foul down the right side, 0-2.
Jair's last start came in Philadelphia before the break, went 6 innings, and only gave up 2 hits to the Phillies, but both of the hits hurt him. Gave up a couple runs in the first inning, gave up an RBI triple to Ryan Howard that cost him the lead and caused a no decision, but the Braves went on to win 6-3 in 11 innings.
The 0-2. Weeks has 15 homers and 53 runs batted in. And a couple of guys in the top 5 in home runs in Hart and Fielder.
The Braves season turned around in Milwaukee, Ernie. They swept the Brewers after they'd really struggled in the month of April. They went in the middle of May and swept the Brewers in Milwaukee and really put a thumping on them offensively. And it was all highlighted by a Martin Prado grand slam.
Grounded toward short, but Chipper cuts it off and throws Weeks out, 1 down.
Braves beat them by scores of 8-2, 11-3, and 9-2, and had 35 hits in those 3 games. But keep this in mind, this Brewers team, you're just talking about the power they have. Ryan Braun only had 2 at-bats in that series. He got hit in the elbow by a pitch that knocked him out of the lineup. This guy, Corey Hart, who's an all-star now, had not begun to hit. He only had 5 at-bats in this series and was not swinging the bat well at all. So they were a little short-handed, and the Braves certainly took advantage of it, but they're at full strength now.
The first pitch to Hart. Well, his last 54 games, 18 homers and 53 runs batted in.
There were reports that he was on the trading block back in early to mid-May because he'd gotten off to such a rotten start.
That's over. 2 balls and a strike. He had a 20-game hitting streak earlier this season. That's the best in the National League. Fly ball pretty well hit to right. Jason Hayward on the run, and that ball is gone. Number 22 on the year for Corey Hart.
Hit in 26 of his last 27 games, holds his hands very low for a big, tall guy. And a little inside-out swing there. Not so little. Good start to his second half.
So he moves from a tie for third in the National League in home runs to a tie for first with Joey Votto and Adam Dunn. 22 round trippers, and it's 1-0. Ryan Braun right at Gregor Blanco. 2 down. Hit that ball well.
Scorched.
What Ken Maka says about this team, his Brewers, is that they've just been an inconsistent bunch. He said we've looked brilliant at times, and then there are times we look very bad.
Well, it's odd for me to hear that they're struggling with their consistency offensively because their lineup's so solid. But I think part of that comes from playing in the National League Central, where right now nobody's really playing that well. They're coming off a 3-game sweep of the Pirates, so you can look pretty good and then all of a sudden run into some good pitching and not look so consistent.
And that 3-game winning streak follows a real tough stretch. They had lost 5 in a row, including 4 straight to San Francisco. They were outscored 36-7 in those 4 games, committed 6 errors, allowed 10 unearned runs, and were 3 for 42 with runners in scoring position. As Prince Fielder lofts one to left, and Eric Hinsky makes the play. But Milwaukee gets on the board. Solo shot by Corey Hart. We go to the bottom half of the first.
Number 2 pick back in 2002 out of Toronto. He's 4-6 on the year with a 4.14 ERA and features a big, slow curveball and a lot of cut fastballs.
And he faces Martin Prado, who still leads the National League in hitting at .325. He's fighting it a little bit, 0 for his last 14.
The All-Star break is not really a break for the guys that are selected, especially when you got to go to the West Coast. I think the so-called break for Martin came at a good time, though, where using that 0 for 14, he can snap out of it.
Grounds this one to third. McGee throws him out, one down.
Defense behind Bush tonight. Braun, Edmonds, and Hart in the outfield. Good threesome defensively. McGee at third, Alcides Escobar at short, Ricky Weeks at second, Prince Fielder at the first baseman, and Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. Brewers 40 and 49. They're only 8.5 out. That's not insurmountable, but to hear them tell it, they've got to start hitting better.
Warm reception for Jason Hayward. Last time he swung the bat in the game was June 25th.
And again, took some batting practice out in Anaheim on Monday and Tuesday. Got checked out by the doctors and was cleared to play tonight. To make room for him, the Braves sent Brandon Hicks, shortstop, back to Gwinnett.
There was that big slow curveball that missed. 1-2.
Jason was one of several guys that had good series up in Milwaukee in May. Even though he only played in 2 games, he scored 6 runs.
He and the other Atlanta Brave All-Stars honored before the game tonight. And they showed clips of all of them. That Brian McCann run-scoring triple cleared the bases, or double, was huge. And you wonder, you know, you think of some of the moments that we've seen this year already from opening day on in Bobby Cox's last year, whether it's Henry Aaron throwing out the first pitch to Jason Hayward and Hayward homering in his first swing in the big leagues, and just special moments that happen, and you say, is there a destiny thing going on here? Is Brian McCann going to give the Braves home field advantage in the World Series? I mean, there's a long way to go, but certainly there have been some things happening, Joe, that make you go,
And they're all good things.
Yeah.
It's not like you're having to say, yeah, well, if so-and-so hadn't gotten hurt, just think what might have happened. It's all been good things. And there's 5 of the 6 guys, and included Billy Wagner, which was a nice gesture, too, since he was selected for the fan voting. The Brewers are going to fire 3 left-handers out there the next 3 days, Wolf, Narveson, and Parra. So you're going to see a lot of Omar Infante that's not playing tonight. And Melky Cabrera will be back in there, too.
Chipper hitting .252 in the first half, 6 home runs and 33 runs batted in. To first. Easy play for Fielder. And an easy inning for Dave Bush. 1, 2, 3. We're going to the second.
Baseball Club Incorporated and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Braves.
We are going to the top half of the second inning. Game 1 of 4 between the Braves and the Brewers. Jair Jurgens giving up a long ball in the top half of the first to Corey Hart. That's where we stand, 1-0, as Casey McGee stands in. Another one of those guys who can hit it out of the park. 13 homers, 53 runs batted in.
He had an excellent series against Braves pitchers in Milwaukee. Went 6 for 12 with a homer.
Two 2-0. Back to that series that you referenced when they went to Milwaukee. The number that jumps out, they got there, they were 13-18. And since that record, they have gone 39-18. Base hit to right to lead off the second.
The Braves have just been on a real tear since their last series loss here at home, and that was to Philadelphia in late April. Their last 19 series, the Braves have gone 15-1-3, and that's just following Bobby Cox's philosophy to a T: win series. They went 4-2 on that road trip right before the break, taking 4 in a row at one point from the Phillies and Mets.
They lead the Mets by 4, lead the Phillies by 4.5. They have more home games than road games remaining, which the Phillies and the Mets cannot say either. So schedule-wise, you look at it, and it favors Atlanta. But you just get the feeling it's going to come down to that waning stages of September and first week of October in those head-to-head matchups. Unless something weird happens and you build this huge lead. But the way these teams in the NL East have been knocking each other off.
Well, if it doesn't happen where you've got a huge lead, that's the way you want it. You don't want to be playing people outside your division. You want to be going head-to-head with teams that you've got to beat.
Good look at Jim Edmonds, who has been around. In fact, did not play last year. Signed a contract with Milwaukee, was a non-roster invitee. Starting tonight in center field. McGee with his lead at first. The 2-1 to Edmonds. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
His average has been okay. He just hasn't been all that productive. Even though he's hit 4 homers, he's only driven in 12 runs in 172 at bats. I guess Fielder and Braun and McGee in front of him have been driving him all in.
Fouled, and nice play made down the left field line.
So far here in the first inning plus for Jair, he's been up with some pitches. He's got to get the ball down against these guys. Even the ball that McGee took to right field looked like it was belt high. Gave him a chance to go the other way.
Lined into right. McGee will try to go first to third on Hayward, and he is a dead duck. Welcome back, Jay Hay.
High pitch. Edmonds a good high ball hitter. But right here, McGee's running into second base looking for some help from his coach at third base, Fisher. And he wasn't real certain that he wanted to come on to third. And then when he decided to go, it was way too late. It's not like he hesitated or slowed down, but he's looking at Brad Fisher like wade me or stop me? What do you want me to do?
What they don't want to do is make the first or third out at third, and that's one down here in the second. Edmonds at first for Jonathan Lucroy, rookie catcher.
Watch his head. He'll look over quickly over there at third, and then wasn't quite sure. Kind of made a big turn around second, too. And then kind of slowed up. I guess you do that when the ball beats you by 20 feet.
Tap to third. And foul.
It's funny, Ernie, but here we are in the middle of July, and there just haven't been that many opportunities for Jason Hayward to show his arm off. No one's really challenged him that much. So in his first game back, he gets the opportunity.
Lucroy goes down swinging. 2 down.
Better spot there. That one was down around the knees. Started off the plate and came back.
Alcides Escobar. The Brewers shortstop knocked in 24 runs, hits in the 8-hole. And that ball was scorched to left. Hinsky back, edge of the track. And that'll do it. Jason Hayward with the play of that half inning, and it's still 1-0. Performance brought to you by SunTrust. Live solid, bank solid. The All-Star MVPs. Brian McCann has that hardware after that 3-run double the other night, which gave the National League their first win in the All-Star game since 1996.
Yeah, a long time between drinks for the National League there.
And as you point out, the All-Star break, certainly not for those Atlanta representatives who were there, who took the red-eye home late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning and recover from that on Wednesday and go back to work on Thursday.
Not to mention all the people tugging on you, wanting a piece of you for interviews, your time, commitments for batting practice and workouts. And he was the first Braves to win the MVP honor in the All-Star game since Fred McGriff back in '94.
He waits on a 1-1 from Dave Bush.
Bush has won 3 of his last 4 decisions, and to improve his record to 4-6.
That ball's hit hard to left, but Ryan Braun is right there for the first out.
And one thing he is not throwing so far is that big, slow lollipop curve, and he may have ditched that because it wasn't effective for him, because we haven't seen it in the first inning plus.
Bush started the year 1-5, and one of the telling stats when you get off to a start like that, your strikeout to walk ratio was dead even, 27 walks, 27 Ks, but last 5 starts he's 3-1, ERA of 2.27. He'll battle. He's worked at least 6 innings in each of his last 7 starts. Troy Glaus still leads the Braves in RBIs with 58. He has lost the home run lead on the team to Alex Gonzalez, who comes in having hit 17 in Toronto. Troy has 14. Taken all the way, 3 balls and a strike.
Something else Bush has cut down on is the long ball. He gave up 10 homers in his first 12 starts. He's only given up 1 homer in his last 5.
Grounded toward short. Escobar throws out Glaus, 2 down.
And fans, it's time for the know-how question of the game, built by the Home Depot. And if you have a question, send us an email, and if chosen, we'll answer it later in the game. Send your email to braves@peachtreetv.com, and please include your name. Remember, more saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Well, Dave Bush has set down the first 5 he's seen. And here's Eric Hinsky. Takes a strike. You talk about the moves the Braves have made on this current roster. You talk about the Gonzalez move, but the addition of Eric Hinsky to this mix has been vital too.
His production behind Glaus as some protection has been vital. Remember earlier in the year, there's the slow curve. Earlier in the year, Escobar was batting behind Glaus a lot. It wasn't that successful, but when Bobby Cox moved Hinsky in there and moved Escobar down, all of a sudden things started going better for Troy and for Eric.
Came back with a slow breaking pitch again at 68.
I was asking guys what they did during the break, take some time off, and Eric took his family up to Barnsley Gardens. Said they had a fabulous time.
What a spot. If you haven't been, that ball is rifled into right. Hart up with it. Hinsky pulls into second with a stand-up double. First hit for the Braves.
Hinsky's a doubles machine against this ball club. In that series in Milwaukee, he went 4 for 6 with 3 doubles. And his first at bat in this series, he's got a 2-base hit.
Nice hand for Alex Gonzalez as he makes his Braves debut. Some of the best offensive numbers he's ever put up so far this season, with his 17 home runs and 50 runs batted in. Hit 23 home runs in 2004 for the Marlins, where he got a World Series ring in 2003.
if there's anything to keep an eye on or think about with Alex Gonzalez, is just keeping him on the field. He has had some injuries that he's had to battle. In fact, most of the 08 season he missed with a knee issue. But when he's out there, he's a terrific player.
Two balls and no strikes. You see some of the facts and figures on Alex.
Plus, he's played in some places like Boston where there's, it's high profile, a lot of pressure, microscope, if you will. So this is not anything new to him.
He's had a couple of tours with the Red Sox. Started with the Marlins, also played with the Reds. And he's ahead in the count, 3-0.
He's also 4 for 6 in his career against Bush, and with first base open, it's like Dave Bush is not that anxious to throw him a strike. And neither is Ken Maka.
Lucroy sticks the paw out there, and the intentional walk is issued to Alex Gonzalez. So first and second with 2 down. So a chance to do some damage out of the 8-hole here for Gregor Blanco.
Two for 5 with runners in scoring position. He's just played outstanding.
Got the curveball over 0-1. And that is a tantalizing breaking pitch. Ran it inside on him, a ball and a strike.
It's another part of Gregor's game that kind of goes unnoticed sometimes, and that is that a lot of his career, both in the minors and the majors with the Braves, he has spent as a leadoff hitter, so he's got a good eye. He doesn't often chase a bad pitch early in the count to get himself in a hole.
His last home run came off this guy in 2008.
Time for a repeat performance.
Runners at first and second. Bush wants to get him. He's ahead in the count, 1-2. Pitcher is on deck, and he'd love to have Jurgen start off the third. The 1-2. Oh. People at home grabbing bats as he sets down Gregor Blanco with the 69-mile-an-hour curveball. We are going to the third, 1-0. the recipients of the Big Smiles seat upgrade sponsored by Dr. Deborah Gray King and the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry, the place in Atlanta to get a beautiful smile. And when you get a seat upgrade, you're all smiles. Back to work after the All-Star break. 4-game set here, Braves and Brewers. And Dave Bush leads it off. 3 out of 24. 3 out of 25. 1 down.
Several first pitch outs, too, for Jair. That's helping keep his pitch count down. But this is a very good team, pitcher not included, at leading off innings. Their 290 team average leading off innings leads the National League.
Here's the top of the Milwaukee order, Ricky Weeks. Grounded to Chipper his first time. JJ has allowed 3 hits, and that was past Chipper at third. Weeks at second.
That one got on Chipper a lot faster than he expected on that first hop, and actually got a little leather on it, but just enough to slow it down. E5 is the call.
So Weeks is at second for Corey Hart, who went deep his first time.
May 15th was the day that Corey Hart caught fire. That was 2 days after the Braves left town in Milwaukee.
Excellent timing.
Perfect. Since then, he's hit 19 homers, 54 RBIs, and that leads the majors over that stretch.
His homer in the first was his 22nd of the year. He's tied for the National League lead. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Look out here.
Needed to throw a strike, but again, his strikes, or the pitches that he's been hurt on, have been up. Having a little trouble here the first couple of innings getting the ball down.
Weeks away from second, and he threw it right by him. 2-2.
He did that in Philadelphia, where when he needed to reach back for a little extra, he did that, and an example of it there at 94.
The 2-2. Fly ball to right. He went that way the first time. This was out of play. His home run in the first into the seats in right field.
One thing that's very noticeable that's different about his swing is that it's a lot shorter than it was. He's dropped his hands down and just letting his hands do the work to get the barrel of the bat out there. He was kind of long and loose with his swing. We saw him in April.
Again, the 2-2. Off the end of the bat to first. And they'll get him. Troy had a little trouble with it. Jair got over there, and that's the second out.
I mean, this is going to sound kind of silly because the ball was hit so slowly. But that wasn't an easy play. That ball had a tremendous amount of spin on it, so when it did hit Joy's glove, it spun away from him. A little bit of a hot potato there because of all the spin. Nice recovery. I know what some of the guys did during the break. They got haircuts.
Anybody in particular?
Gloss, McCann. I don't know how Brian had time to. Maybe on the plane.
Here's another all-star, Ryan Braun. Made a great play the other night, early in that game. Strange numbers for him, too. At home, he's hitting .229. On the road, .352, the best in the National League. He lined to center his first time.
Good player, solid all-around player. He's becoming a better and better defensive player in left field after moving out there.
Yeah, the best thing that's happened to him really was the move from third to left field. He's in an 0-2 hole. Jair punches him out to end the third. Second strikeout for JJ. We're heading to the bottom half in a 1-0 game. Win free airfare for two if the Braves hit a home run here in the third. Visit peachtreetv.com/contests for official rules and to enter for a chance to win. Airtran Airways, go. There's nothing stopping you. Braves have one hit through 2 innings. That by Eric Hinsky, a double. But he was stranded in the second. Jair Jurgens leads it off against Dave Bush. Jair 1 out of 10.
And hopefully that was just for effect, showing bunt, because you know Bobby Cox doesn't want him.
Casey McGee not buying it.
Don't overextend that hamstring.
Grounded softly up the middle. Escobar throws him out, 1 down. No, you're absolutely right on that too. When you're dealing with a hammy, because those things are so tough to recover from, and then last thing you want to do is tweak that.
That's why he was on the disabled list for so long. They just knew that if they tried to rush him back, it would just be a repeating offense, and his hammy just never would get well. They were very patient with it and had the luxury of doing that with the way Chris Medlin was pitching.
Here's Martin Prado. And there was a little discrepancy in the pregame notes and the stats on Martin's slump here. He is now 0 for his last 14, which ties the longest dry spell of his career. Grounded to third his first time. The All-Star second baseman shoots one deep to left center field, and you can forget it.
Oddly enough, Ernie, that 0 for 14 earlier this year was in May and was leading right into the Milwaukee series in Milwaukee when he broke out and went crazy. So 0 for 14 tonight. He snaps out of it with a long one.
So the game is tied at 1. And Renee from Savannah is going flying. There's Jason Hayward.
What's she win again?
Airfare for 2 on AirTrain.
Outstanding.
Hayward takes, and now you wonder how many Renees in Savannah entered the contest, because we haven't given a last name, but the winner will be contacted, obviously. But there may be many, many Renees jumping up and down thinking they got a trip.
Right. Several of them in Savannah said, and I didn't even send anything in.
How did they know? Yeah. And Renee, you can thank Martin Prado for that flight. Here's Jason Hayward with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Hit hard but foul. And right now, the left field ball guy is leading the right field ball guy. That was right through the wicket down there.
Yeah. I'd like to say it was a bad hop, but it wasn't. It was too hot to handle. Already better swings, though, from Jason tonight. More authority. Not afraid to cut it loose for fear of getting jammed. Welcome back.
That left hand, that top hand, where the thumb injury occurred.
Good pitch.
So 2 down, nobody on, in a tie game for Chipper. Hitting .304 in his last 22 games with 3 home runs, which matches his home run total for the first 51 games, and it all coincides with the meeting with management talking about the possibility of retiring, and then putting all of that on the shelf until the end of the season.
I think he's played really well since he quit. Don't you?
Exactly. As he says, he's just a piece of the puzzle here. There was that big slow curveball again. 1 and 2.
Bush's delivery on that and his mechanics on it are so good because there's great deception. It looks just like fastball coming out of his hand until it goes about 3 feet up above his release point. Everybody just had a little hop in their step today, though, didn't they? Everybody was excited to be back, number one. Excited about the addition of Alex Gonzalez. Excited about Jason Hayward returning. And very excited about being in first place. I like what you said in our opening comments about how it was the first time in 7 years that the Braves have been in first place
since
at the break.
2003, yeah.
And what was it on Bobby Cox?
The 8 previous times that they've had the lead at the All-Star break, they've gone on to win the division under Bobby. And this is number 9. And Chipper shoots one deep to straightaway center, and it's 2-1.
This is big bat ball right here, Ernie. This is a big bat doing the damage. It was a hanger, but that ball's way out away from him, and he threw the big end of that heavy bat he swings, and it just shows you don't have to swing hard if you put the bat in the right spot and get it out in front.
He barreled that thing to straightaway center field. 2 long ones in the third for the Braves. They lead at 2-1. Here's Brian McCann. That's hit hard.
Take another look at this home run swing, and watch how his upper body has to bend over to get this ball. But the bat out in front just dropped the big barrel of that 35-ounce bat on the ball. If that's a 31-ounce bat, probably just a fly ball to the warning track.
Seven home runs, 34 runs batted in now for Chipper. Troy Gloss grounded out his first time. He bats with a runner on and 2 out. To second, and under the glove of Ricky Weeks.
Looked like Weeks was trying to get his feet ready to get in a position to throw back to first base, but in his effort to kind of make quick steps to get over there, he didn't get the glove down in time.
So they're at first and second. And here's Eric Hinsky, who doubled his first time. Home runs by Prado and Chipper here in the third. McCann and Gloss are on now for Hinsky.
Back-to-back breaking balls on Eric. Gets ahead, and now let's see if he is willing to do it 3 times in a row.
He struck him out for out number 3, but the Braves do some damage with the long ball. This has been the Airtran Airways home run inning of the game, where tonight Renee from Savannah has been selected as the Airtran Airways home run inning sweepstakes winner. Was it Prado or was it Chipper? Was it both? Airtran Airways, go. There's nothing stopping you.
Go, Renee, go. local Toyota dealer today. Toyota moving forward. Tonight's question, who was the last National League catcher to win the All-Star MVP? National League catcher.
I've got an idea. I don't want to spoil it for you.
No, I welcome your guess.
I would think Mike Piazza.
I know Gary Carter won it once. But you would think someone might have done it since then. I like Piazza.
Prince Fielder is setting a Brewers franchise record for consecutive games played tonight with 275. He had tied Robin Yount. Flight out to left his first time. Wow. There was a challenge upstairs at 93.
Well, on that topic, Ernie, let's take a look at tonight's leaderboard brought to you by the Sunshine House, a tradition of excellence in early education. And there are the active leaders in consecutive games played. Prince at the top.
Right back to the mound for the first out.
We see so many guys now, foul ball off their foot. I mean, rightfully so, just aches and pains. Martin fouled the ball off his shin and calf on the road trip, could barely walk. And when you think about Cal Ripken Jr., and the streak that he put together, he had some dings like that and just kept right on trucking.
Casey McGee fouls the first pitch back, 0-1.
2,632 straight games for Cal Ripken Jr.
I've had the pleasure of working with him on the TBS postseason coverage the last 3 years.
And a fine job you do.
I'm just saying, this guy, as McGee flies to right, and a long run for Jason Hayward, who makes the catch. Now, how is he?
He ran hard right into that corner. He made the catch and held on to the ball. But I don't know what he ran into. It's padded. Joe West hustled down there to make sure the ball was still in the glove.
You hope he just knocked the wind out of himself.
But remember, right on the other side of that little thin slat of padding is the foul pole, folks. Ooh. Padding or no padding, that as padded as it is, that can't be very soft on the other side of it. Ow. He's on his feet.
Let's see a smile.
Joe West can make him smile.
No, I haven't heard any of your CDs.
Great play.
That is an incredible play. A guy that big and that quick running headlong into that wall. And he's staying in. They're showing the replay on the big board now, and that's the groan you hear. Even Jason getting a look at it now. We'll give him a blue star for that one. 2 down. And here's Jim Edmonds. On a bounce to first. Handled by Troy Gloss. 3 up, 3 down. A lot of folks holding their breath. Now you can exhale. Going to the bottom of the 4th.
Toyota trivia question. Who was the last National League catcher to win the All-Star MVP? I'm going to go with Ernie. Mike Piazza. 1996.
The last time the National League won the All-Star game.
Wow.
Before Anaheim this week. John Smoltz was the winning pitcher in that game.
Did you and John have a good time in Philadelphia?
Oh, we had a wonderful time. And he was, and he drove Hal and me to the ballpark every day and tried out some of his material. Try that out right down the line for Alex Gonzalez. Welcome to Atlanta.
And a big hand from the crowd. Somebody already had a poster made for him tonight. They came ready. Alex was ready for that fastball, turned on it right down the line. His first hit in an Atlanta uniform.
There's Gregor Blanco. McGee is in on the grass at third.
Talked to Chipper about Alex Gonzalez before the ball game and what he thought it meant to the club having him on the team. And he said, I have always loved the way Alex Gonzalez plays shortstop. He's very smooth, turns a double play really well. He's got a good arm. He said, and he echoed what Bobby Cox said about him, and that is he's a dangerous hitter. He's a guy that can hurt you with extra base hits.
In the air to center. Jim Edmonds makes the play, 1 down. Alcides Escobar, the Milwaukee shortstop, was excited before this game. He's a rookie here, but both Venezuelan. Looking forward to playing tonight with Alex Gonzalez on the other side. And they're together right out there at second base right now and have been exchanging pleasantries held in high regard. Jair takes a strike.
For Gonzalez, by the way, that was his 26th double of the year.
Here's the 0-1. Threw him that slow curve, and he bounced it foul.
Well, that was kind of I think that's a bad choice, throwing that big slow curve to a pitcher. All that does is just speed up his bat, give him a chance to, even if he's out on his front foot, put the ball in play. And this was not one of his better ones. It stayed on the inside third. So Bush got away with a bad choice and a bad mistake there.
Gonzalez leads from second. Threw it to him again. McGee makes the stop at third and throws him out.
I guess he wasn't convinced that JJ could hit that pitch. He got saved by his third baseman this time. Nice diving catch by McGee.
So Gonzalez still out there at second now with 2 down. And for Martin Prado, who went deep his last time. 11th home run of the year and 40th run batted in. And snapped an 0 for 14 skid. This is hit to right. Easy for Corey Hart. And that does it for the Braves in the 4th. We head to the 5th. Braves on top 2-1.
Years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jamieson Inns, live large, pay less.
We move to the top half of the 5th. Every run in this game coming via the long ball. Braves have gotten home runs from Martin Prado and Chipper Jones, and Corey Hart went deep for the Brewers. And that's where we stand as we go to the 5th. Jonathan Lucroy, the Milwaukee catcher, leads it off. And a soft liner to center. Lucroy's been bothered by, he got jammed a couple of times by Tim Lincecum. Right hand was bruised and swollen and sat out a little bit, but the All-Star break did him good. He's starting tonight in the first game back.
Greg Zahn was a guy who caught some of the games in Milwaukee against Atlanta, but he has what amounts to a season-ending shoulder injury. That's when Lucroy got called up. Sharing time with George Cotteris.
Here's Escobar. He lined out to left his first time. Another in a long line of slick fielding Venezuelan shortstops.
I think they must, in the Latin countries and the Caribbean, I think every kid, when they have tryouts, they just all automatically go to shortstop, and then they tell you where to go from there.
Exactly. That ball's pretty well hit to left center field. Blanco back on the track and hauls it in. Put a charge into that one.
Man, that's two he's hit like that. One that was a line shot to left that Hensky was able to get under, and this one a fastball coming back to him. He put a good swing on and just hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark. Good play by Blanco to stay with it.
Dave Bush is already squaring as Lucroy scrambles back to first. Lays it down. Good bunt. Sacrifice accomplished. 2-4 if you're keeping a book at home.
Fifth sacrifice of the year for David Bush. And it brings to the plate, I mean, you can understand down a run why they would bunt to get the tying run, potential tying run into scoring position, but especially for Ricky Weeks, he leads their team in hitting with scoring runners in scoring position, hitting over 350.
And he likes that first one, hitting 486 on the first pitch. 244 the rest of the counts. He bats with a runner at second and 2 out. He reached on an error by Chipper his last time, on a call that could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was a tough error.
Lucroy at second. Weeks waits on a 1-0 to shallow left center. Gonzalez back, makes the play. We have played 4.5 at Turner Field. Good guys are leading by 1. plan today. Pick any 10 games for only $16 a game and receive prime seats in the lower outfield pavilion and a Brian McCann jersey t-shirt for a savings of up to 47%. To order, visit braves.com/McCann or call 404-577-9100. The Brian McCann 10-game plan. And you're going to want to be here down the stretch, folks.
Yep.
This team is playing great ball at home, best record in the bigs. And including tonight, 74 games left, 41 here at Turner Field, 33 on the road. So here's Jason Hayward.
Just taking a beating.
Welcome back
Man.
to the lineup. We
challenged the foul pole, ran into the wall to make a catch. Now bangs one off his foot just when his thumb was beginning to feel better. It'll make you forget about the thumb, won't it?
A fly out and a strikeout. He's 0 for 2. And this one is popped up. Jim Edmonds takes care of it. That ball stayed up forever.
It's funny how it kind of runs in cycles, Ernie, but last year we were talking about how difficult it was for the Braves. They weren't playing well at home, and you got to play well at home and try to play 500 on the road. Well, that stretch where the Braves from 91 to 2005 were in the postseason every year, their winning percentage at home was 63%. This year, it's at 66 2/3%. So they're actually playing better than they did when they were in that good run for 15 years.
I was looking at the schedule as we headed into this game. The games remaining against specifically the Mets and the Phillies. Got 7 at home with the Mets, 3 at home with the Phillies, 3 on the road with New York, 3 on the road with Philadelphia. And those Phillies games don't come until the last 12 games of the season. 6 of them against Philadelphia, 3 up there and 3 here at Turner Field to end the season. Got Florida 6 times on the road, 6 times at home.
Those will be tough.
The Nats 6 times on the road, 6 times at home. Figure to see Steven Strasburg at some point in that run.
Think about it. Strasburg, Josh Johnson for Florida. You're going to see those guys. Anibal Sanchez has pitched some good games against the Braves the last 2 years.
Ricky Nolasco.
Yeah. Phillies didn't get Cliff Lee, and maybe I'm not sure what overtures they made to try to get him back, but I still am convinced they're going to make a deal before the deadline between now and the 31st to get a number 2 or 3 type guy in their rotation behind Halladay. They've got one huge bargaining chip in Dominic Brown, that young outfielder that they don't want to give up. But if somebody wanted Jason Worth, for example, they would have some flexibility there. I'm trying to make the deals for Phillies here.
There you go.
But I'm saying that just because I know that they want to make a deal for pitching, and they need to.
McCann is 1 out of 2. Had a single in the third.
And what's cool about this deal with Alex Gonzalez and what it does for the Braves lineup, how it improves it, is it's kind of like saying to the rest of the division, okay, what are you going to do? How do you like us now?
Slow curve drilled foul. Meantime, a team like the New York Mets, you come out of the break and you have Carlos Beltran back.
Yep.
From microfracture surgery, knee surgery. You wonder is this really Carlos Beltran that you get back, as you see how he recovers from what is a tough injury and a tough surgery to recover from. But he'll be out there tonight when the Mets take on San Francisco. Lined up the middle, base hit. I mean, if that's a 30-homer, 100 RBI kind of guy with big production numbers, then it's as if the Mets have made a deal before the deadline in itself.
Ryan does a nice job here keeping his hands inside the baseball, willing to give up the inner part of the plate, behind in the count 0-2. Had the outside part covered. Might have gotten jammed a little bit, but a good piece of hitting there for the base hit. Yeah, the Mets' 4-game series against the Giants are going to get all 4 of their good pitchers. The Giants' good pitchers.
Braves trying to add to a 2-1 lead here in the 5th. 2 on with 1 out for Troy Gloss. Six out of 15 with a couple of home runs against Milwaukee this year. If we didn't see that pitch very much early, we've seen it often since then.
Yeah, he's gone to it a lot since near the end of the 2nd inning. And because he's already behind a run now, he's not as freewheeling with it as he was.
Ball and a strike. The Phillies, meantime, playing Chicago tonight at Wrigley. They're 2-2 in the 2nd. You see Troy Gloss's numbers by month.
Yeah, he's hit a cold spell too. Part of that you can hang on that really sore knee too that started bothering him. He was another guy that needed a few days rest. Now the Phillies go from Chicago to St. Louis, so they got some games. That road trip's a pretty tough one, especially if they happen to catch Wainwright or Carpenter in St. Louis.
Gloss waits on a 1-2. Did he? Joe West says no. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nah, good call.
Rob Drake is calling the balls and strikes tonight. Troy stays alive, 2-2.
For Dave Bush, when he's throwing that slow curve and the straight changeup, when he does throw the fastball, he really has to place it well when in counts like these, because he got away with it against Hinsky earlier tonight when he threw him 2 curveballs and struck him out with a high fastball. That's where he's got to go, is elevate it out of the zone and hope somebody chases it, because it's only about 86, 87 miles an hour. Like that.
So 2 down now with 2 on. That is strikeout number 4 for Dave Bush. He's not out of trouble yet. Eric Hinsky, who doubled in the 2nd, stands in with 2 on. Eric was in this very same spot in the 3rd. Runners at 1st and 2nd and 2 out, and Bush struck him out.
And that was might have been a slider. Not sure what that was. It was off speed, but they're really pitching Eric backwards. A lot of breaking stuff early and then going to a fastball after that. So maybe he can look for another off-speed pitch and just sit on it.
That time it was Scott Berry who said that Hinske checked his swing. Now all we need is for Angel Hernandez to do something in this inning, and we'll have all the umpires covered.
It could happen.
Ball in a strike. Joe, you look mighty refreshed from your vacation. Well deserved. The extended All-Star break.
Yeah, it was great. Had some fun up on the Delaware shore, Bethany Beach, Delaware. Some sun, some surf.
Glad you decided against the Speedo.
And a couple of Dr. Peppers.
Hinske stays alive. Ball and 2 strikes.
I do have tan lines, though, if you want to see them later.
I'll pass. Ball and 2 strikes. Popped him up. Who's going to call for it? Prince Fielder wraps it up. Braves get 2 on, but can't move them around. It's still a 1-run lead as we go to the 6th. Five innings in the books at Turner Field. Nice crowd out here to watch the Braves go to work after the All-Star break. They lead 2-1, but leaving some guys on base, though, and you wonder if that's going to come back and bite them against a team that hits the ball as well as Milwaukee does. Both teams coming in hitting .260 for the year. But the Brewers specialize in the long ball. Corey Hart hit one in the first for the only Milwaukee run.
Dave Bush well into the 70s, almost 80 pitches tonight, and Jair Jurgens making his 54th pitch. Again, those first pitch outs really helping him early on. Although in the first inning, Corey Hart did the only damage so far for Milwaukee with that opposite field home run.
Jurgens ahead 0-2. Heard Tim McCarver during the All-Star game talk about those hands way down, that maybe you can challenge him upstairs.
That's true. I mean, it's hard for a guy who holds his hands low to get on top of a high fastball, especially unless you're bringing those hands up as the pitch is being delivered. But I'll tell you, anything that's below the letters, he's in a good position. Plus, he looks long and wiry and lean, but he is very strong and runs exceptionally well.
The 2-2 to center. Blanco on the run, makes the play.
Angel Hernandez almost got that play. Gregor came in, made the good catch, and then on the run was throwing the ball into Prado, and
low-bridged him.
Angel had to hit the deck.
Now here's Ryan Braun, who's 0 for 2. Hit the ball hard to center his first time and then was called out on strikes in the third.
You mentioned his good work on the road earlier, Ernie. 4th in the league. He was also 4th in the league last year, hitting on the road with a .343 mark.
How do you figure stuff like that?
I don't know, kind of quirky, unless for some reason he sees the ball better on the road than he does in his own ballpark. And that's quite possible, because when they play day games at Miller Park, it is a bear to see the ball because of all the reflections. And that's when the dome's closed, of course.
Of course, Braun starting for the National League in the All-Star game along with Corey Hart, and that was the first time the Brewers have had 2 starters in the All-Star game since 1983. It's when Ted Simmons and Robin Yount represented the Brewers in the American League.
Really, I would have guessed, that's quite a compliment to Simmons. I would have guessed Paul Molitor and Robin Yount.
He waits on a 1-2. Jair snapped that ball back on the throw from Brian McCann.
Jair's only given up 1 hit since the 2nd inning, and that was a base hit by Lucroy leading off the 5th.
Right back up the middle. And a 1-out single for Ryan Braun. And the dangerous Prince Fielder steps to the plate. He's got 20 home runs, but only 39 RBIs.
There's something interesting about his home runs, and that is a comparison with his dad, Cecil, who led the American League in homers a couple of times with the Tigers. Had a successful career. Through their first 2,706 career at-bats, which is where Prince is right now, 2706 in at-bats. Cecil had 189 homers, Prince 180. Only 9 different.
The apple doesn't fall far. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Flat out to left. Grounded back to the pitcher. He bats with a runner on, 1 down, and cut right through that.
I remember seeing video of Prince Fielder when he was in high school in the pre-draft build-up about who might go first, who's going in the first 4 or 5 picks, and seeing pictures of him and thinking, no way. This guy's not, you might be thinking football, but baseball first round, come on. And it really wasn't until we got a chance to see him on a semi-regular basis at the big league level that you realize this guy can just flat out hit. He may not have the prototypical major league body or a major league first baseman's body, but all that aside, he can hit.
And if you can hit, they will find a place for you. Talked about those 20 home runs and 39 runs batted in. 16 of his 20 homers have been solo. He's got a man out there here in the 6th in a 2-1 game.
Certainly had a good month of June. As a team, they've hit 15 in the month of July. They're 5-6 in their first 11 games. And Hart's home run tonight made it 15 homers in the month as a group.
Runner going. Braun's got some speed. He's stolen 12 bags.
Now he's only been caught once. Prince's dad, Cecil, led the American League in homers back-to-back years, 90 and 91. He hit 51 homers in 90, 44 and 91. And if I'm not mistaken, he hit a ball Cecil did completely out of Old County Stadium in Milwaukee, over the bleachers in left field.
I saw a lot of games in that ballpark growing up. This one's to left. And Orapinski makes the play. 2 down.
Got to track the ball all the way in the outfield right now with the twilight. Can't take your eye off of it.
Here's Casey McGee, who hit a ball in the corner in right his last time, and Jason Hayward made the play of the game. He's made 2 great plays defensively. Threw a runner out, in fact threw McGee out at third, and then crashed into the wall and held on.
His first assist of the year.
Would have put a real damper on what's been a pretty feel-good game so far for the Braves had he stayed down after making that catch in the 4th.
Take a look at Jason running full speed right into that wall in the corner. Watch his face. Wall, the padded part right at the area where the foul pole is, so you know there wasn't any give behind the padding.
He was shaken up. They checked on him. He stayed in the game. Just inside. 2-0. He's got 13 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Trying to get through the dangerous power section of this lineup here in the 6th.
Well, that was a good pitch. Fastball, little cutter. Good spot. Running his pitch count up a little bit this inning. But to a part of the order where you're going to have to be a little careful.
20 pitches this inning, 72 for the game for the Braves right-hander. Braun with his lead. That missed. 3 balls and a strike. Jim Edmonds on deck.
McGee was actually leading the National League in RBIs at the end of May. He had 41 RBIs. But since then, he's only driven in 12.
To third. Chipper goes the short way, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 6th. Going to the bottom half. Atlanta nursing that 2-1 lead. Upcoming schedule brought to you by AirTran Airways. Go. There's nothing stopping you. Back with you tomorrow night for Game 2 of this 4-gamer on Peachtree TV. Sports South has the game Saturday. Fox Sports South on Sunday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday here on Peachtree. The San Diego Padres in town. Looking forward to that. Division leaders going head-to-head. And then Sports South has that Thursday getaway day. Afternoon tilt.
Saw Greg Olson in the ballpark tonight. Former Major League pitcher and closer. Spent some time with the Braves. He's an advanced scout for the Padres. But get to see that, those good arms for San Diego.
Pitching has definitely been the name of the game out there. Here's Alex Gonzalez. Been on base twice. Both plate appearances here in his Atlanta debut. An intentional walk in the 2nd. A double in the 4th. Going to have to get to the real story on his nickname. Seabass.
I got a little bit of a lead on that.
Kevin Millar gave it to him in Double-A in Portland, Maine.
Yeah, it had to do with his frown that he would come to the park with. It's like somebody had dumped over his Cocoa Puffs and it was just had that sourpuss look. I have no idea what that has to do with the sea bass. Yeah. But there you go.
And the team up there was the Sea Dogs in Portland.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
Maybe that's it.
And but that's good. Scott Cockrell, our producer tonight, actually was down there as he was meeting with the media. Alex was tonight, and when everybody cleared out, he kind of said, "So, what's the name? What's the deal with this sea bass nickname?" He said, "Who told you about that?" As he flies to center field, and Jim Edmonds makes the play. He said, "Not that many people know about that." And now you know. Gregor Blanco stands in here in the bottom half of the 6th in a 2-1 game. Want to send out some well wishes to a good friend, Marcia Myers, who's recuperating in a hospital, northeast Georgia, and her husband, Kevin Myers, one of the great pastors in this country at 12 Stone Church in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And a biking mishap while on vacation this past week has landed Marcia in the hospital, and she's getting better and better every day. So prayers are out there for you, PK and Marcia. There's about a 52-footer.
It's not that breaking ball can't still be effective. It's just that with repetition, the more you see it, the easier it is, the more likely it is that the hitters are going to adjust to it, especially early in the count. Again, there's this fastball at 86. And with all the other off-speed pitches, it makes it look a little harder.
As a hitter, when you're seeing that as frequently as he's thrown it tonight, are you sitting on that?
Early in the count, I would be. After he started throwing it so much in the second inning, I think early in the count, I got to start looking for it.
Two balls and two strikes.
And I think there's some guys that say, hey, why should I look for something I can't hit? Well, these guys can hit it. And the big thing is that Bush has been throwing it for strikes. He hasn't been bouncing that many like his waste pitches.
He has run the count full to the Braves' number 8 hitter. Blanco 0 for 2. And a strikeout victim for the second time tonight.
5 strikeouts equals the number of strikeouts that Bush had in his last start against the Pirates. He pitched into the 7th inning, gave up only 2 runs, struck out 5 that day to improve his record to 4-3. And his numbers against Atlanta, despite getting beat in Milwaukee back on May 11th, he got beat 11-3, but he only gave up 3 runs. Braves really took it out on their bullpen. His ERA coming in is just 2.33 against Atlanta.
Well, last time he threw Jair Jurgens a couple of those slow curveballs, and Jair pulled them both. He's grounded to short and to third. One 5-0 for the Brewers. 2-7-1 for Atlanta. Popped him up. Ricky Weeks over there with Prince Fielder. Fielder makes the play. And a 1-2-3 inning for Dave Bush. We have played 6. It's still a 2-1 game.
else could you hug a 7-foot-tall polar bear? Take home a free 8-ounce glass bottle of Coke. Experience a thrilling 4D theater and taste beverages from around the world. Visit the world of Coca-Cola today.
We have moved to the top half of the 7th inning. 2-1 game. Brewers just a swing away from tying this thing up so you don't get really, really comfortable. But Jair Jurgens has not given up a run since the first when Corey Hart took him deep. Jim Edmonds will start it off for Milwaukee, the 40-year-old center fielder. 8-time Gold Glover. He could really go get him in center field.
You were just talking a minute ago when I mentioned Oak County Stadium and how you used to spend a lot of time at that ballpark with your dad. I have a question relative to that, just based on what you just said about Jim Edmonds. And that is, I wonder how many 40-year-old players there were playing in the 1960s, late 50s, 60s, even into the 70s. I don't remember playing with anybody that was 40. Maybe Gaylord Perry, that was about it. There just weren't that many, especially position players.
Right. Yeah. And we've seen already this season Omar Vizquel still getting it done at 40-something.
Yeah.
And being able to play, not only play short, but play third, too, and make that adjustment.
I mean, that doesn't look like a 40-year-old swing there.
Saw Jamie Moyer in our trip to Philadelphia.
And he's, what, 60?
I think he throws 60.
Yeah, he's getting lit up at 60 tonight. Cubs have taken a 6-2 lead.
The 0-2. Edmonds goes down swinging to start the 7th.
One of Jair's best change-ups of the night right there. Good spot, down and away.
There's Jonathan Lucroy. He has one of the 5 Milwaukee hits, a single leading off the 5th. Bat goes all the way back to the screen. Johnny Venners is up in the Atlanta bullpen.
Brewers have some activity as well with the pitcher spot due up 4th this inning.
By the way, Eric O'Flaherty is on the 15-day DL with a viral infection, and so the call went to Gwinnett for Mike Dunn, who has taken his roster spot. The 1-1 to the Brewers catcher. Milwaukee really hasn't threatened after the first inning, after the home run. I guess their best chance was in the 2nd inning when Edmonds singled, and they could have had 1st and 3rd with nobody out. But Jason Hayward gunned down Casey McGee at 3rd. And that threat never materialized. Got a runner to 3rd in the 3rd. That was Ricky Weeks, but struck out Ryan Braun looking. Now 1-out walk to the number 7 hitter in the Milwaukee lineup. You saw Dave Bush in the Milwaukee dugout. Craig Counsell has come on into the on-deck circle to hit for him. Escobar bats with a runner at 1st.
Guys put a couple of good swings on the ball tonight.
Just 23 years old. He played 9 games for the Brewers in 2008, 38 last year.
Well, he's the guy that they were putting all their eggs in the shortstop basket when they let J.J. Hardy go.
He does not get all of this one. 2 down.
Looks like Craig Counsell's going to hit. Moylan joins Vetters.
Roger McDowell with a trip to the mound.
The Brewers have Zach Braddock and Todd Coffey in their bullpen.
So once again tonight, Dave Bush works into the 6th inning and battles. Braves hit a couple of solo home runs off of him, and that's the difference right now, 2-1.
Jair's had to extend himself a little bit the last 2 innings from a pitch count standpoint. Remember, this is only his 3rd start back from the disabled list. He threw 85 pitches in his first start against Washington, 89 against the Phillies.
Here's another guy about to join the 40-something crowd. He'll turn 40 in August. Craig Counsell.
Jair at the 86 pitch mark right now. He's a guy that, as he's gotten older, has had to make some adjustments, so Ernie, and is wise enough to do so to extend his career. Remember how high he used to hold the bat up in the air, just kind of turn himself into a pretzel? It's still held pretty high, but not near as high as it used to be.
Good stop by Brian McCann to keep that ball in front of him with a runner at first. 2 out. Luke Roy leads from first. Counsell waits on a 1-1. Now 2 balls and a strike. Ricky Weeks in the top of the Milwaukee order on deck. JJ trying to get out of this inning with a 2-1 lead. Three balls and a strike. And Jair is going to take a little stroll. Nowhere near first and second with 2 out.
Here comes Bobby.
Those last 2 well out of the zone. And after 6 2/3, the work night is done for Jair Jurgens. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. They're on their feet for Jair Jurgens. Braves leading 2-1. We'll be back.
top of the Chop House for Peachtree TV's Beats and Bases. It's a Braves party you don't want to miss. I'll play host to live music and entertainment, plus you can spin the prize wheel for great Peachtree TV prizes. That is Beats and Bases tomorrow night, Friday night, right here at Turner Field. Be there.
You got it, JJ. Thanks. From one JJ to another. 6 2/3 innings of work for Jair Jurgens tonight.
And the 2 walks came 3 batters apart here in the 7th inning. And it'll be up to Peter Moylan to get out of the inning. He's faced Ricky Weeks before, but must have walked him because Weeks is 0 for 0 against him. He wouldn't even be listed in the matchups had he not faced him at all.
Weeks is 0 for 3, reached on an error in the 3rd, was stranded at 3rd. And he bats now with 2 on and 2 out in the top half of the 7th.
Peter had a good road trip to Philadelphia and New York. Was in 2 games, no runs, only 1 hit, 1 strikeout.
This is his 47th appearance, which leads the team 1-0. Said you don't feel comfortable with that 1-run lead against a team that hits the ball like Milwaukee does.
No. And again, this guy with good numbers with runners in scoring position.
A ball and a strike. To short. Gonzalez to second. Peter Moylan comes on, puts out the fire. Braves still lead at 2-1, and it is time to stretch. Great night at the ballpark here, bottom half of the 7th inning. Braves on top 2-1. The night is over for Dave Bush, and Todd Coffey is the second Milwaukee pitcher.
He's fresh off the disabled list. They missed him. They've had some bullpen issues. I mean, they started, of course, with Hoffman as their closer, but Trevor ran into all kinds of problems. They had to demote him from closer to setup man, and John Axford took over, and Axford's 10 for 10 in save situations. Coffey got hurt, so they had some issues. Setup men, especially Mitch Stetter, their left-hander, that was their ace setup guy. He's back in AAA now, so it's been kind of a seek and search for some guys to fill some roles. And Rick Peterson, who's certainly a veteran Major League pitching coach, has had his hands full with that part of their ball club.
Brewers came in with a team ERA of 4.84, which is number 27 in baseball, 14th in the National League. So as well as they can hit it, they've given some up too.
See, that's what puzzles me. But when they come to town here, they're talking about their inconsistency with their offense and the fact that their offense hasn't done much over the last couple of weeks. Well, that's news to the rest of the league. Because they have a lineup that, as you have said, can put up some big numbers on any given night.
Here's where they stand as we start the unofficial second half. 8.5 back with that 40-49 record.
A team like Milwaukee that has a lineup that can score, their first goal should be to get back to 500. Get back to 500, then find out how many games you are out, and then go to work trying to catch those other two teams. You got a lot of games left with those teams ahead of you. The Braves, meanwhile, have handled the Central Division quite well. We talked about the 3-game sweep they had against Milwaukee in Milwaukee, but Atlanta's 15-6 this year against the Central.
Well, let's see if the Braves can get a little breathing room here in the bottom half of the 7th. Got the top of the order up there. Martin Prado leads it off. It's Coffey. Both of Atlanta's runs have come by the long ball. Prado a 1-out solo homer in the 3rd. 2 batters later, Chipper went deep.
And yes, there's a little difference between Mr. Coffey's fastball and that of Mr. Bush. Different type pitchers. Coffey can throw in the mid-90s. Mixes in a slider.
Another one of those guys, and there are so many in baseball, as Prado grounds to short, who have had Tommy John surgery. For Coffey, it came way back in '99. He missed the 2000 season.
Well, we're going to go matchups here as Ken Maka makes his way out of the dugout. He has young Zach Braddock ready in the bullpen. He's going to bring him in to pitch to Jason Hayward.
So this call to the bullpen, like the last one, is brought to you by AT Rethink possible. Coffey comes on and does his job, and we'll be back after this.
All you got to do is log on to PeachtreeTV.com.
Back here at Turner Field, thank you, JJ. And Milwaukee going to the pen once again. This time for the left-hander, Zach Braddock.
This guy had some good numbers last year. First in A ball, then at AA. Had a 1.09 ERA in 14 games at Brevard County, then a 2.87 ERA at Huntsville. And he's a big guy out of New Jersey, 6'2", 235.
Another one of those guys who's had Tommy John surgery. Had it in high school. He's only 22 years old.
He was part of their overhaul, trying to find some other setup guys. He's only been in 20 games.
They'll go lefty-lefty with Jason Hayward. Jason 0 for 3. Let out to center a couple of times and struck out in the third. Publication Baseball America rated this guy's slider the best in the Brewers organization in 2008. On the ground to second. Weeks will throw him out. Hayward running hard to first. So 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th, and here's Chipper. He homered from the left side of the plate in the 3rd. He turns around to that righty here against Braddock. Weeks will handle that. 3 up and 3 down. We have played 7. The lead still 1. We're coming back on Peachtree TV.
Including pest and termite inspections and customized treatment. Visit callactivetoday.com.
2-1 Atlanta lead. Top half of the 8th inning at Turner Field. Defensive change as Melky Cabrera goes into left for Eric Hinsky. And Peter Moylan stays on the mound after finishing up the 7th for Jair Jurgens.
Johnny Venner's still throwing in the Braves bullpen. You might see Moylan pitch to Hart and Braun, 2 right-handed hitters, and then have Venners come in and finish up the inning against Prince Fielder. We'll wait to see how that works.
Dangerous part of this Milwaukee order in a one-run game in the 8th. Corey Hart, Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder. Hart has already homered in this game. It came in the 1st.
Good pitch to start in that slow breaking ball. Hart's 2 for 7 with a homer against him.
Thought about it, didn't go. Ball on a strike. You like your chances if you get through this portion of the lineup here in the 8th. So Moylan jumps ahead, a ball and 2 strikes.
I think that pitch, when he doesn't try to overthrow it, doesn't try to throw it real hard, is much more effective to the right-handed hitters because it acts as a changeup too.
Tapped up toward third. Tough play. Moylan. They can't make the play. It bounced off Gloss at first. That would have been sensational.
Tough play from the get-go because Corey Hart can run. But what an athletic play there by Peter Moylan. The hop gets under the glove of Troy Gloss and nails him in the knee. But a great attempt by Peter Moylan.
So the leadoff hitter on. And here's Ryan Braun. He singled his last time. He's 1 out of 3. An infield single by Hart, the 6th hit of the game for Milwaukee. The Braves have 7. It's a 1-run game. He was just 1 out of 11 tonight with men on.
Not sure what was wrong with that pitch. He went to the front door slider, threw it right at Braun and got him to flinch, but didn't get the call. Must not have caught the plate coming in. Oh, another good pitch. Even if it was just a little bit low. Interesting that Braun didn't swing at it. He's looking for something middle of the plate end that he can launch.
Dangerous count to a dangerous hitter, Ryan Braun, as Moylan throws over and Hart is back. Peter came on to get Ricky Weeks with 2 on and 2 out in the 7th. The leadoff hitter, Hart, reaches on an infield single here in the 8th. And the 2-0 on the way. 3 balls and no strikes. Nervous time at Turner Field in the opener of a 4-game set.
Plus you got a dangerous hitter at the plate who might get a green light here, 3-0. But representing the go-ahead run, he might be taking.
He was. It's 3-1.
Peters had a good breaking ball. Especially the one where he takes a little bit off of it.
Chipper will cut it off. and get the force at second.
That was all they were going to get, largely because it was so softly hit, but also Chipper had to almost shot put that ball to second base. He's laughing as McCann comes to the plate, but watch how hard it was for him to get this ball out of his glove, and then almost threw it away.
And Corey Hart bearing down on the bag at second. So Braun reaches on a fielder's choice. There's one out in the 8th. Peter Moylan's work is done. And here comes Johnny Venners to face Prince Fielder. Stick around for that.
To know what do starting pitchers do on their days in between starts, and a lot of that, Peter, varies with each guy. Everybody's got their own routine in terms of the first day after they start, second day, etc. But a lot of it is conditioning work. I know one guy, Derek Lowe, who throws a lot of long toss. He'll throw from left field all the way over to the right field corner just to keep his arms stretched out and build up some arm strength. They also will have at least one side session in the bullpen where they're working on a few things. And like I said, some conditioning work too in the weight room and on the treadmills, etc.
John Smoltz and I were talking about that in Philadelphia in regard to Chris Medlin. And Derek Lowe has been really helpful in his development and talked about the importance of maintaining that routine and having that schedule and knowing that this day you do this, and the routine, he said, vital. Well, this is a great matchup right here. Johnny Venners and Prince Fielder. And the reviews just keep on pouring in on this left-hander, Johnny Venners. Billy Wagner saying the other day, there's never been anybody in the game who's had a lefty sinker like this.
At 96. The last pitch was 96. It just hasn't been. Most left-handers who throw that hard have got four seamers that are rising almost over the head of the hitter.
Right off the hands for the second out.
I mean, he just buried that one on Prince Fielder. That one was up, and he had no chance to catch up to it. That might have been a four-seamer.
But to continue the point that Wags was making, too, he says the whole myth is that you have to take something off to make your ball sink. This guy's throwing 95, 96.
And it's like a lead ball coming up there, speaking of shot puts.
Here's Casey McGee. McGee 1 out of 3. Towards second. Funny hop, but Martin handled it. Flip to Gonzalez. And that's it in the 8th. Good job by the bullpen. It's still a 2-1 game, Atlanta. 2-1 Atlanta game. You know, the Braves' wives are holding Christmas in July. And there's Joe Underhill, a.k.a. Underdog, who's working the stats for us tonight. That's why he actually wears that hat all the time, but more appropriate now that Christmas in July is being held. And so if you're coming to the ballpark tomorrow, you can bring a toy. And the Braves' wives will be collecting them from 5 o'clock tomorrow until the end of the first inning. New and unwrapped toys collected in Monument Grove. And there's also they're going to have a Christmas tree out here tomorrow. Santa's going to be out tomorrow. So Christmas in July, courtesy of the Braves' wives. Here's Brian McCann. Zach Braddock, the third Milwaukee pitcher, still in there. He came on in the 7th.
There's the slider that you referred to earlier. That's the best slider in the system.
The All-Star Game MVP is 2 out of 3 tonight. Muscled up on it, missed upstairs. Billy Wagner getting loose, preparing for the 9th. And would probably prefer that cushion be a little bigger. It's 2-1.
Mac knew that one. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar there. He was looking for the slider and didn't get it. Cut fastball instead, and he knew it. He was in trouble.
6th Atlanta hitter to strike out tonight. And here is Troy Gloss. It up there pretty good at 94, but missed 1-0.
Well, he's one of those guys that's really come through their system, progressively better each year. An 18th round draft pick, good arm, live arm. You know what? He may be the guy. I gotta look it up. He may be the guy that the Yankees gave up on. And because he throws hard, they took a chance on him, which you can understand.
Over for a strike, 2-1. Cubs are helping the Braves out tonight by leading the Phillies 6-2 in the bottom half of the 6th. Later tonight, the Mets in San Francisco facing Tim Lincecum. Knuckleballer R.A. Dickey going for New York, and again, Carlos Beltran. Back for New York. Boy, that ball was scorched foul.
No, Braddock was drafted by the Brewers. The guy I'm thinking of is Axford, their closer, who they signed after the Yankees let him go.
Milwaukee pitching has set down the last 9 Atlanta hitters. All the Braves' damage came in the 3rd. Couple of solo homers. Got enough of that one to muscle it into right. And Troy Gloss is 2 out of 4.
That was a slider, but it was kind of a roundhouse type slider. Troy able to track that in on him, fight it off with a base hit. You're right, one more run at least would be mighty nice.
Melky Cabrera is at the plate as the Brewers talk it over.
David Risky is in their bullpen, a right-hander. But of course, Melky's a switch hitter. Doesn't matter who they might bring in to pitch to him.
So Rick Peterson, the pitching coach, he was the pitching coach in Oakland when Tim Hudson was there.
There's Risky.
Melky's first at bat of the night came on as a defensive replacement for Eric Hinsky.
Braddock has not walked a bunch of guys since he got called up. I'm sure that Ken Maka appreciates that about him. Only 6 walks and 19 innings.
Whoa, look out. A barrel of that bat flew into the stands.
That's what's worried Major League Baseball with respect to broken bats. Not just players on the field that are in jeopardy from all the broken bats, but fans too. And I don't know that I've ever seen one break in half and fly that far into the seats. But fortunately, that spear landed in between people.
Through it all, Melky is at first with a fielder's choice with 2 down. And it appears everybody's okay behind the Milwaukee dugout. Man, that's scary. There's a souvenir that very few leave the park with. Brewers are going to the pen again, trying to keep this a 2-1 game. Check it out at 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday on TBS. Braves fans want to see a little more scoring here in the 8th. It's a 2-1 game. 2 down and a runner at first. Good spot for the new guy, Alex Gonzalez, who was walked intentionally in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th. Line out to center in the 6th. And here's David Risky on the mound for Milwaukee.
He's no kid. He's been around a while. Just in his 13th game. He missed almost a whole year with Tommy John surgery. There's another guy ready.
I'm telling you, it's It is amazing to see the recovery rate and the success rate of pitchers who have had that surgery and have come back as good as new. Here's one of them too, Tim Hudson. One of Atlanta's all-stars, did not pitch in the Midsummer's Classic. There's still plenty of memories from being there for a couple of days.
I don't think he was upset about not pitching. Very happy with the outcome, and certainly happy that it was his teammate who provided the winning blow. Good cut there by Alex Gonzalez, who in my opinion has always been a good fastball hitter.
Melky scampers back. Two to one in the bottom of the eighth. Braves lead. Toward short. Escobar. That was smooth. And that does it for the Braves in the bottom half of the eighth. It's still a 2-1 game. And it's Billy Wagner time. Summary, AT&T, rethink possible. And the Braves certainly hope that that game summary is coming your way momentarily as Billy Wagner is on to try to nail it down in a 2-1 game.
He's 20 for 23 in saves. And it's pretty cool. They're two of the top 5 closers in the history of the game are in the ballpark tonight. Trevor Hoffman, #1 with 596 saves. Billy Wagner, 5th with 405. That's a combined 1,001 saves just between two guys.
That's getting it done in some pressure situations. Wagner here in a 1-run game. Faces Jim Edmonds to lead off the ninth.
There they are, the top 5.
Of those, only Franco with more from the left side. And Billy is gaining ground as he blows it right by Edmonds. Gaining ground on Jesse Orozco with the all-time strikeout lead by left-handed relievers. He's 21 from tying it.
Billy got a lot of work right before the break. And he was outstanding.
1-2.
Last 9 outings, 15 strikeouts and no walks.
How's that for a ratio?
Huh? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that'll work.
Simmons must have thought this was a little high because he looked back at the home plate umpire, Rob Drake, but looked like it was about belt high. Good pitch.
Too close to take, as they say. One down. Now here's Jonathan Lucroy.
Left-handers so far this year 2 for 29 against Wagner.
Lucroy's had a single and a walk and a strikeout. He bats with one down here in the ninth. This is the part of the order you want to see if you're Billy Wagner. 6, 7, 8 in the ninth.
Lucroy just a tad tardy.
Just a bit.
May have hurt his hand a little bit. He's kind of regrouping here.
The 1-1. We mentioned this is the guy who had been bothered by a bruise and some swelling in the right hand after he got jammed by Tim Lincecum a couple of times.
Well, that didn't feel very good on that 2 pitches ago when he took a full swing at a fastball and hit it right over the top of the Braves dugout.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 2.
Another good stop by Brian McCann, too. Back foot slider in the dirt, perfectly placed, got him to chase. 1 more to get.
It's Alcides Escobar, the young Milwaukee shortstop, the last hope for the Brewers. 97 inside, 1-0. Nobody's sitting down here at Turner Field. A soft liner to the newest Brave, and that's the way it ends. Wagner with the save, and the Braves with win number 53. They're 17 games over 500.
And they improved to 15-12 in 1-run games.
The Braves win it 2-1. Back to wrap it up after this.